Hello everyone, my name is Void Doctor, and welcome back to another episode of 1.20 Hardcore Minecraft. And in today's episode, we're starting off at the farm that we constructed last episode, specifically the barn. And I'm still really happy with how this build has come together. I specifically really like this house. Something about it is just so quaint, but also feels very well built and sturdy. So yeah, I really like this house. However, as I was running around this world just thinking of ideas for this episode, I kept getting this feeling that there was something missing, something I hadn't done yet. And I think it's because I haven't built any auto farms yet, which is super unlike me. Especially at this stage in the game, I always will have at least a simple automatic sugarcane farm. So I think in the next few episodes, we're gonna have to start industrializing this world. And I thought, what a better place to hide these farms than inside of a massive castle. But first, before we get building, we'll have to scout out a location. And coincidentally, I think the hill we're standing on right now might be the best one because it looks out over everything we've built so far. But before we get building or planning the castle, I'm gonna need to do some resource gathering first. And because I enjoy haha funny pain time hard to break blocks, I think I want to make this castle out of deep slate, and conveniently I already have a bunch. This unfortunately probably won't even be enough. Yeah, I want this thing to be big, but in what is probably going to end up being a vain attempt to avoid smelting all the deep slate, I want to see if I can get myself a silk touch pickaxe. Unfortunately, it appears I don't actually have any diamonds. Lovely stuff. So it looks like we'll be smelting the deep slate after all. Alright, enough dilly-dallying, it's time we get some mining done. Okay, I've mined and smelted a whole ton of deep slate. I sure hope this is enough. And I've also done some pre-planning in a creative test world just to see what blocks I'll need to make this build look good. And I'm definitely going to need some oak logs. Because oh boy did I learn today that deep slate and oak, that is a nice combination. Actually, I should probably verify that I don't just have some oak lying around somewhere. That would be very unfortunate. Ah yes, I love 40 oak logs. Okay, it's time to continue the complete and utter deforestation of this land. Okay, I mined up all the oak, but as you can see, my axe is almost broken. So I think it's time I do some diamond mining. Okay, I've got 9 diamonds, and this turned out to be a weirdly quick mining trip. I dug out this tunnel from scratch. I wanted to start a new tunnel. There was a deep dark at the end, but I did get some diamonds in there as well. And then I went down here, which I'd already dug out. This tunnel I'd already dug out. And at the very end, like the first block I mined, there was a diamond ore just sitting next to it. It was so weird. So weird. Okay, I'm actually going to repair my axe and my pickaxe. But before I do that, I think I should enchant these new ones. Gosh darn it. Forgot. Freaking lapis. Okay, time to do some combining here. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, no, it's gonna be too expensive, but 2 more XP levels, and man, we can have a really good pickaxe as well. But Fortune 1 and Breaking 3, that's not too bad either. Okay, now I need to gather some spruce. Okay, I've gathered together all the materials I think I'll need for the basic structure of this castle, including the deep slate, some cobblestone, some calcite, and all the wood I've gathered as well. Starting this build off, I think we're going to get rid of these little hills here because I don't think they add much in the form of terrain variation, and they just make it more complicated because it slopes back down this way. Alright folks, one broken shovel later and this land is completely flattened out here. But I'm not sure if this will be flat enough. I might actually have to go back there and fill in that land. The plans I have for this castle are very, very large. Like, I've been doing so much planning for this castle in a creative test world, just so much like layout planning for this castle. I could have planned the next 40 years of my life in this time. So the first order of business is just going to be laying out this layout. I really love the way I phrased that. It really made sense. Okay, I really like how this looks as an outline, but unlike a lot of my previous castles, I don't want this to just be a bunch of walls with a big courtyard in the middle. I want everything to really be accessible from the walls, maybe sparing the main keep itself. So I want to sort of add some interior walls and things and towers in the middle here. So I'm gonna work on that right now, and then we'll get building. Okay, I've got this all laid out here, and I want to start on this front gate area because I'm really excited for how these towers and this gate in general is going to look. I think it's going to look super imposing on the rest of this landscape here. Okay, I really like how this gate came together, and obviously I still need to add some stairs and things here, but stuff like that will become later because I just want to get the basic shapes laid out first. And I really like how this covered section has come together specifically. I just think that's kind of a cool addition. It provides some extra cover for the archers, just so they don't get pelted by arrows from oncoming enemies. So yeah, it makes it a lot more secure. All right, now I just want to pound out this tower and wall here because, you know, it's a tower, it's not very exciting. So let's go. Okay, I really like how this tower has come together. I know it looks plain right now, but once we add some crenellations, arrow slits, make those look more like arches, I think it will look really nice. But now I want to work on this tower here, and I had a really cool idea for this one to make it look more round. So wall blocks don't take up an entire block, so you can actually put them in the corner of a shape like this to make it look a lot more round and just more realistic and have a bit more texture to it. So let's get working. Okay, I realize that there's almost no detail to this yet, and half of it is being covered by a massive dirt staircase, but I still think this already looks super imposing on this landscape. It's dark, it's really tall and just sturdy looking. It's very imposing from far away. But now I just need to get some of these walls and things figured out in here. Okay, folks, I finished up the walls, and something I noticed is that this courtyard here would be absolutely terrifying to any incoming attackers, because it's essentially just a hailstorm of arrows no matter where you are. Like, you're here, archers are hitting you from there, and also the tower up there. You're here hiding from these archers, well, archers are hitting you from that tower, and the gate here. And keep in mind, there's also melee fighters just flooding in through these doors here, so yeah, this would not be a fun place to be. Now I want to get working on this tower. And it's an odd number, which may pose an interesting challenge, but I kind of want to do a similar design with the arches, just like that tower up there. Okay, that tower is done. Again, roofless and detailless for the time being, but now I want to work on this building here, and I kind of want this to be a barracks just because it's close to the gate and things, so if in the middle of the night while the soldiers are sleeping, something happens out here, they can easily be alerted and make their way to the front gate quickly. But as this building is technically part of the exterior wall still, just to fit in, it's going to mostly need to be flat and gray, but I am going to add in some arrow slits. But I can't add in full windows because you don't want enemy soldiers to be able to climb through the windows while people are, sleeping in here. Okay, let's see how these window slits or arrow slits look. Does it look too much like a dungeon? No, I feel like that looks appropriate. It still feels very defensive, but you could also have people living in there as well. But now I just want to add in some form of rustic looking slab roof. Oh yeah, I really like that, especially from afar. It really sort of melds together into a nice subtle shape. But now I'm just going to finish these last couple towers in this building here, and we'll move on to the keep, and finally we'll add in all the details. Okay, folks, I finished this building here, and I think it's kind of cool, just the way it uses space. I could have connected these two towers with just a plain wall, and that would have worked, but it would have been sort of boring, so instead I connected them with the building here, and I think that's pretty cool. But now I've got to work on the keep here, and this might prove to be a lot more challenging than the other buildings, just because it's sandwiched in between everything else. Okay, folks, I just got done placing a ton of deep slate, and now I have to place even more deep slate, and even more deep slate, and then I can play the game. Okay, folks, I'm finished with the keep, and I really like how this whole building has come together here. The interior is less than desirable, but the rest of the build I think looks really nice. The roof shape and the texture for the roof itself I think look really cool, and just in general I'm really happy with how this build has come together. I do have some neat little roof rafters in here, but they can't be fully centered on the build, which looks slightly odd, but it's fine because it's an even numbered build. Slight miscalculation on my end. Anyway, now I need to start adding roofs and details to everything. Oh boy, I actually really like how that roof came together. I wish I had planned for more of these towers to have roofs like that. That's going to be the only tower that has a roof like that. Maybe I should have done the roofs before I built the rest of the towers. Okay, so I want to use darker deep slate blocks for this roof. I don't want to switch materials entirely. So I think, or what I plan to do here, is just have some trapdoors dividing the roof and the walls to add a bit more separation. And I've kind of liked this technique all throughout the castle of having patches of different materials instead of just completely randomizing it, having patches of regular deep slate and patches of bricks, just to sort of make it look a bit more cohesive. Yeah, I like it. Man, building odd numbered roofs is not easy. It's kind of a neat challenge, but it truly is something you have to put a lot of time and effort into. Okay, yeah, I like it. For being an odd numbered roof, I think this one came together quite well. So I wanted to change the roof on that tower because I wasn't entirely happy with it. So to keep from just having it all be the same looking roof or very similar looking roofs, I decided to make this one roof with crenellations just like that one. Okay folks, I added the crenellations to all the walls and also added some floors to the towers. But now I want to add some coarse dirt and path block paths around the castle just to really fill out the ground some more. Now I'm just adding some bushes around here just to give it a bit more greenery. I know it's meant to be sort of an imposing structure, but I feel like the bushes don't take away too much from that, and they add so much more life to the place. And I'm just throwing in some barrels as well, and I'm also just throwing in some hay bales. All right, folks, the castle is looking great, but I just had an absolutely insane idea. I want to turn the landscape around this castle into my own custom biome. All right, so here's my idea. If you've ever played the mod Terralith, which you totally should, Terralith is epic. There's a biome in Terralith called the Highlands, and I really like how the Highlands look. They've got these big rock spikes that just stick out of the ground. They've got tall pine trees everywhere. It's just such a neat looking biome in my opinion, sort of rock spikes like that. And so I thought if we turned this raised area up here into a sort of biome like that, it could look really cool in conjunction with this castle. But I'm thinking maybe we do it on a smaller scale, maybe not as many custom trees and definitely not as many rock spikes, because I've been getting together some materials here and this is about what I have. I have a bit more cobble, but I'm going to need to turn that into mossy cobble. So I'm actually going to head out to the jungle now. Okay, lastly, I need to make myself my marble cobblestone. Okay, now that I've gotten the marble cobblestone, I need to get some fences and spruce leaves together. Okay, so before we just get absolutely changing this landscape, I want to just set some standards for how we build things. So I'm gonna sort of build an example tree right here to see what I want the trees to look like, what style I want to build them in, how much effort I want to put into them. Okay, I like how this tree looks. It just feels like a normal pine tree, which is really all I was going for. Nothing special, but I wanted something a bit smaller so that they're just not huge on the landscape. Okay, and now I'm working on a rock spike here. And I really don't know how I want to shape these. It seems like you'd want them to be really organic looking, but then they sort of just melt into the landscape, which I don't want. Okay, there we go. I like that. Ooh, and here, wait, what if we just dug out some of this area here and filled it with coarse dirt? How does that look? Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, time to just do this a bunch more times. Man, making these trees feel unique and organic is proving to be a whole lot more challenging than I thought it would be. They just all end up looking the same if you don't put a ton of time and effort into each one. Okay folks, I'm super happy with how this biome is coming together so far, but I feel like these trees, as they're all very similar height and very similar shape, it makes this place look very manicured and very intentionally designed, which is not what I want. So I'm actually going to start building some larger spruce trees just sort of mixed in with them, just to break up the sameness of all these trees. Okay folks, this place is looking absolutely beautiful in my opinion. But now I need to go gather some birch leaves because I just had a really cool idea for a different type of tree to fill in more of the space here. Alright, I really like how these aspen trees have come together. I think they look really nice. And so I'm just going to continue dotting them around this landscape. Probably not as many as there are the pine trees. And I'm also going to need to fill in spaces like this where there's no grass because that tree right there just looks wrong. Hey folks, it's the editor here, and I realized in this clip it looks like my XP just jumped down to 0, but it's because right before this clip was recorded, I realized my armor was about to break, so I had to take quite a long break actually to go mine a bunch of diamonds to fix my armor, which ended up costing me a lot of XP. Okay, folks, now with adding these aspen trees around here, I think this whole place is looking a lot more filled out. And a cool little detail I added to some of the bigger pine trees is some of their leaves are birch leaves to make it look like maybe there's just some natural variation in the color. But now I need to head out in search of a shipwreck because I think moss could be a really cool way of texturing the ground. Ah, shipwreck. I almost missed it. Wow, that is really well hidden. Oh, how are we gonna do this? Okay, I do not want to die. I'd rather not die. Moss! Oh my gosh, and an armor trim. 2 armor trims? Ah, 1.20, here I come, I guess. Hello? More armor trims. I don't know if these are rare or not. I think armor trims are rare. Yeah, that's so cool. And we will be swiftly putting these in the valuables box because holy cow, I'm excited to use those. Oh no, my boots, my poor boots, my Air Void 4s. All right, now I need to farm this moss, and I'm very much hoping that it can take over Podzol because I really don't like Podzol, and it'll be nice to just have this be my moss farm. Wait a second, this isn't very smart at all. We don't need to farm it here. We can just bone meal the moss over there and have it spawn in patches. Yeah, that's probably a lot smarter and more resource efficient. Okay, how does this look as just a little clump of something else, some other texture here? Yeah, I like how that looks, just some other color out here. So we'll just continue dotting moss around all over this landscape. And now I am fresh out of bone meal, so to get more, I think we're going to need to do some moss farming. But now I think the final natural thing I have to do here is just kind of prune these flowers here because I feel like the placement of them is a bit excessive for the vibe that I'm trying to achieve here. Alrighty, folks, with all that pruning done, I think it's safe to say the natural part of this landscaping is now complete, which is a great feeling because this has definitely been quite a lengthy process. The next thing we need to do is work on this road. It ends quite abruptly, so I want to extend it down to those roads, and I also want it to extend into this new biome here, just so you can appreciate more of this landscape. So I'm going to need to do some gravel gathering.
Bruh.
Okay, I'm making myself a ton of coarse dirt here. I actually don't even have enough dirt. Okay, time to work on these roads. And the last thing I want to add to this landscape are just some simple little lanterns on fences here. Wait, never mind, I lied. There's one last detail that I want to add to this place that I think will make it look really cool. What we need to do is have a couple trapdoors here, facing out like that, and a painting. Hopefully the right one generates. Hello? Yeah! Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I added this, I just retextured the painting. I did this a while back now, and I've just sort of been waiting for the right moment to use this resource pack, and I think this is a really cool way to implement it. So yeah, it just retextures that painting to look like a cool banner, a cool custom banner. And I just think this design is really neat. And for this kingdom, now that it has an official flag and things, if you want to come up with a name for the kingdom itself or the castle or anything like that, just put your submissions down in the comments below. I'll be taking submissions and probably putting together a vote or something like that. However, folks, that just about does it for today's episode. And I'm so happy with what we've managed to achieve. I originally just wanted to build a simple little castle to house my farms, but I think this castle has come together as a super detailed, neat-looking fortress. And we also got completely sidetracked building a custom biome based off one of my favorite mods, which I think just came together super well. So, as always, my name has been Void Doctor. I hope you all enjoyed today's hardcore episode. If you did and feel inclined to do so, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share, as it does help out the channel a bunch. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.